Oh.
So, yes, you are all welcome to the tomb of the first Nigerian Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa, Balewa. The idea contract started as far back in 1975 under General Gawan administration. But the construction started in 1977 under General Obasanjo administration. And the tomb was declared open to the public as national monument on 29 August 1979. The then military administrator of Bauchi State, Brigadier Garba Duba, who's now a retired Lieutenant Nigerian Army, and then first gate from entrance, signifying the childhood educational background led by Minister. And the tomb was designed reflect the simplicity life led by Minister. It is now my honor and privilege to invite you. Most my welcome.
Thank you.
The full darkness here signifying the hardship. In content the led Prime Minister together with colleagues for their effort to free Nigeria from colonial New York. And also the darkness signifying the mind for the visitors to the death of led Prime Minister, the little of the darkness. Hello, yes, the little light signifying the ray of hope in future the nation to free from colonial administration. But the second darkness signifying struggle continues for independence.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
Hello, yes, the full brightness signifying the attainments of government Nigeria independent 1960. The subsequent election, and Abubakar became a prime minister in 1957. Those are the two different steps, the rough one and the smooth one respectively. The rough one signifying the hardship by the people of Nigeria under the colonial administration. But the colonial government, they do everything directly without wishes or aid of people. While the smooth step signifying freedom and joint independent 1960. So on going down, this one is more easier. Hello, guests. The slabs and the gaps signifying the crisis and civil disorder when Abubakar was assassinated. The color on the wall signifying the different ethnic groups in Nigeria, and the late Prime Minister serves their interests to unite them as one nation. And the top remain a roof signifying the open-mindedness of late Prime Minister, and showing the simplicity life to the people of the Federation. So this is the actual grave. The late Abubakar Tafawa was born in December 1912. He was born at Balewa. His father's name was Mala Yakubu. And Abubakar was born to Aisha. He started elementary primary school in 1922 to 1925. Therefore, in 1925 to 1928, she attended Bauchi Provincial School. In In 1928, he went to Kaduna Teaching Training College, where he was trained as a teacher. He back to Bauchi Provision School. During his teaching, he's more familiar on history, geography, mathematics, English. In 1945, she went to London University, where she obtained a diploma in education. He back to country in 1946. In 1949, became a headmaster of former school, that is Bauchi Provision School. In 1950, he's a first educational officer in Bauchi Province. Abubakar was appointed to Bauchi Native Authority as a senior councillor. She was appointed to Regional House Assembly in Kaduna Rifitentimbo Province. Abubakar joined politics in 1952, like NC, NPC Action Group. In 1955, became a Minister of Works. Minister of Works and First Minister of Transport in 1956. On September 9, 1957, Nigeria made a general election. And Abubakar became the first Prime Minister of Nigeria. In 1960, while Nigeria became independent, Abubakar was humble, dedicated person who sacrificed for life for Nigeria. And she was assassinated on 15 January 1966. He left 3 wives and 19 children.
Whoa.
The late Abubakar died not left behind. Expect only one house and come out by himself, which are the practical example to ancient emulates. So this is the short biography.
It was cool.
Hello guests. The main purpose for making grave here, purposely because of his mother late president. You know, Abubakar was assassinated when his mother is alive. And then the father of the late Prime Minister was died when Abubakar was 4 years. But then the father of the Prime Minister is a Muslim scholar to the city head of Tafawa, Balewa. And the Prime Minister was growing up under the DC head of Tafawa, Balewa. So that is the main reason that gentlemen there in Tafawa, Balewa. But originally, he had the place where she was born. So that is the full story of this gentleman. My name is Mame Sheikh Akwem, and chief guide of this tomb complex. Hoping you satisfy my presentation.
Thank you very much.
Abubakar, Tafawa, Balewa. Once more, say you are welcome. Let's go.
Good afternoon.
We start with this side to make charges, and we charge for camera. He was born in 1912 and died in 1966. This is an artistic impression of his father, Malay Akubu Zala, and this of his mother, Haja Aisha in Apelu. Aisha in Apelu. This is a black stone, black rock, called by the Fulani Taferi Baleri. It is found in Tafawa Balewa local government. So the Hausas now came and changed this Taferi Baleri to Tafawa Balewa for ease of pronunciation and reference. Subsequently, that became the official name of the town or local government, Tafawa Balewa. Alright? So now, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa's parents were, were serving this man, Ajia Zubairu, at the Bauchi Emirate Council. And so he was made the village head of Tafawa Balewa. So as such, he had to move to Tafawa Balewa with the persons working under him. Alright? Yes. So Abubakar's father was more or less a slave under him, serving him. Okay? And so that was how they moved to Tafawa Balewa. Abubakar was born there and started growing there. And then, Nigeria was under colonial rule. And so the colonial masters now established a village elementary primary school at Tafawa Balewa. And so Abubakar was now enrolled in the primary school, and he was brought by his guardian to the colonial masters for enrollment. He started in 1921. All right. After some years, he now left Tafawa Balewa and came down to Bauchi. That school, it was called Bauchi Provincial Primary School. That school opposite HEB. All right. That was where he continued his primary school and then finished his primary school. These were the teachers that taught him. This was the headmaster of that school, and this was Madam Baba Sidi, who taught him Islamic and Arabic knowledge. Now, finishing primary school, he now got admission to Katsina Teachers Training College, the only teacher training college established in the whole of the northern province that time. So this is Abubakar at Katsina College. This is how the college was built traditionally, which is now one of our offices, the National Museum, Katsina. All right. So this is Abubakar with his colleagues, and the teacher was a colonial master. This is Abubakar with some of his colleagues at Katsina College. This is him here with finger on his lips at Katsina College. Now finishing Katsina Teachers Training College, now a trained teacher. He came back to that Bauchi Provincial Primary School at Yelwa and then took up teaching job there. All right. He excelled in geography, history, and English, among other subjects. At that school, he rose up to become the headmaster or education officer, it was called in that time, 1930. So come this side. This is Abubakar here, selected as a representative for Bauchi Native Authority in the Northern House of Assembly in 1947. He was the one representing Bauchi State in the Northern House of Assembly. And this is the first Nigerian Council of Ministers, 1952. It was a combination of colonial masters and indigenous people of Nigeria. So, in 1957, they went to Kano International Airport, ready to fly to London for Constitutional Conference. This is the northern delegates at London during the Constitutional Conference. So Abubakar was once a Minister of Transport, and as such he visited the London Airport, our company. He was inspecting their facilities. Likewise, he visited River Mississippi in the US. In 1955, he was inspecting their water transport. This is the attire Abubakar wore when he was first sworn in as first Prime Minister and on the first day in office. That's how he appeared. And these are our regional premiers, you know them, Awolowo, Zik, and Amadou Bello, Sardauna Sokoto, you know them. These are independence cabinets. They were drawn from two prominent political parties that were found then. There were many more than these two, but so many of them merged together to form these two. One NCNC for the south, and then NPC for the north. So these members were drawn from these two parties to continue struggling for independence from colonial masters. At the same yes. Now this is celebrating 30-year independence anniversary. As you can see, the Prime Minister was inspecting a guard of honor mounted during that celebration. Now, if you look here, these are faces of the regional premiers, but their faces have changed. Now, Chief Obafemi Awolowo's face is missing there because he committed one crime or the other in court, and so he was imprisoned. All right, and so opportunity was taken that time to split the western part into two by creating the Midwestern region and assigned Dennis Osadebe as the premier, and the remaining part of the west, Michael Akintola was assigned. So Michael Okpara sat in for Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe as the premier of the Eastern region because Azikiwe was elected as the first Nigerian president. Now, as the president, he was more powerful than the prime minister. So that's why he was the one that swore in the prime minister the second time. All right? And then on January 13th, 1965. Now, when Nigeria got independence on 1st October 1960, barely a week later, the United Nations General Assembly was convened, and so Nigeria was in attendance because it had attained independence. So during that conference, Nigeria was enrolled or registered as the 99th member of the United Nations. Right? This was Abubakar delivering speech during that conference. This is celebrating first year independence anniversary. So let me explain something here. Please don't mind this thing. There's no sequential progress or chronology in the flow of the exhibition, okay? So we saw celebrating third anniversary there, and this is coming back to first independence anniversary, so don't mind. All right, so and this is the Conference of Commonwealth Prime Ministers at London. Those nations that were once colonized and ruled by England and later given independence. Their prime ministers are this one, and see Abubakar here, and then they are the ones that were treated to a dinner in the Queen's Palace, Queen Elizabeth II. She's still alive up to now. Last year, her 95th birthday, I think 95th, yes, if I'm not mistaken, was celebrated last year, 95th anniversary. This Princess Alexandra, some say she's her daughter, some say she's her sister, whatever. Sir Abubakar was introducing one of his cabinet ministers to her. Right? So these are dignitaries or heads of state from different parts that was commissioned by him in 1964. First chapter. Now this side will tell you about the life of simplicity, modesty and humility of the late Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa. Now, as you can see here, despite the fact that Chief Obafemi Awolowo belonged to one party, NC, and Sir Abubakar belonged to another, the NPC, that did not deter them or prevent him from visiting his political opponent. All right, so they were mingling together and interacting very cordially. This Abubakar going to an occasion with one of his bosom friends and with his private secretary, Bauchi, Yankari. This is celebrating second year and independence anniversary. It was preceded by prayer on the 30th of September 1962. You can see him, he was the one that led that prayer. And then the Oba of Lagos, then Oba Adeleke Adeniji II was by his side. After the prayer, they were chatting and talking with each other. This is some of the officials of Christian Association of Nigeria that paid him courtesy call in his office in Lagos then. Now, because Abubakar was not discriminative, in fact, he didn't have any discriminative tendency of any kind, religious-wise, tribal-wise, whatever. Therefore, one of his staff got married in the church and he attended that wedding. You can see him. He had shaken hands with the groom and now he was shaking hands with the bride. All right. Likewise, the child of a staff in his office was hospitalized in Lagos, and so he left office and paid for a hospital visit to the child and his parents. Now, this boy's father was an Igbo man called Mr. Boys, but he deemed it fit and he liked the leadership style of Sir Abubakar, so he immortalized the name of Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa in his family by naming this boy Abubakar Boys. You can see the letter they jointly wrote with his wife and signed. Okay, it said, to establish your name in our household. This boy was at a naming ceremony on the Republican Day, named Abubakar Boys. He is the second son of Mr. and Mrs. B. Boys of the Nigerian Police Department. We remain your humble subjects, sir. Signed, Mr. and Mrs. All right, Mr. Abubakar grew up to know that, or to find out that farming and cattle rearing was, and still is, the main occupation of the people of the North. So he did not let go that occupation. Whenever, as Prime Minister, he was on leave, he would come down to Bauchi and down to Tafawa, Balewa, and continue to take care of his animals. And he was into mechanized and local way of farming, as you can see. Now this is the Prime Minister during one of his leaves. He came and they went down to Tafawa Balewa and then to the farm. All right. This is Yankari, his private secretary, and Mr. Awoyimfa, his press secretary. They were at the farm at Tafawa Balewa village. So the rain boot he was using in the farm are these ones on display here. Because when he died, members of his family inherited one item and the other. So the one that inherited this later donated it to the museum. So that's what we display. This is a Hausa novel published by him, Shehu Umar, titled Shehu Umar, who published it in 1933. Actually, it was a competition that he entered into and won with this novel. Up there is a collection of his writings, both in Hausa and in English. It's his library up there. So that's the first crude oil sample that was discovered in 1988 and taken inside this bottle and then taken to his office to tell him this is what God has provided, natural resources. This is his brain bead and his brain mat. These are three of his wristwatches that he was using, and that is a sword given to him by Ahmadu Bello, Sardauna Sokoto, the premier of the northern region, with office in Kaduna. You know, that's why Kaduna was, I think, is still being called Kaduna Garin Governor. Yes. So he gave Abubakar this sword. This is a small television. Sony television. That's his case. It was given to him by Queen Elizabeth of England during the Constitutional Conference. 3 of his caps, the ones he was using, and his bed, where he sleeps, when he was using with his family. Some awards, they are contemporary, especially that one in the middle, awarded to him 2019, most recent. That Zenith radio, okay, so something unique about that radio and this television is that they are still working out today. They are still working. If we are to activate the electricity, because if we are to activate, but school children used to come on discussion visit, and so many of them at one time and the other. But you cannot be activating for every visitor, so you have working spot. So that's the case. This is personal reading chair. Whenever he was at home, he sits down here and then read whatever. And then this were his 3 wives, Ajia Inni, Jumai, and Umma. The middle one, Jumai, was the youngest of them all, and she died around November of 2019. So with her death, all of the wives are dead. 4 of his female children, they took that photograph on the occasion of the wedding of one of their aunties. So wedding day dress there. Alright? So that is the only house that Sir Abubakar, the Prime Minister, built in his life. In fact, it is the only asset that he left behind after his death. He built that house with a Barclays Bank loan. And when he died, the loan was still yet to be defrayed completely. Thank God for Sir Abubakar, Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Premier of the Northern Region, who gave him one house inside Kaduna. So that house turned out to bail Sir Abubakar out because it was sold, and then some of the outstanding indebtedness was paid to the bank, and the remaining money given to the family to share that. All right, so that was what happened. This is a post-mortem award given to him by Sir Abubakar, Tafawa, Balewa. There's one picture that is very unique. I think it's here. Yes. Now, as you can see, this is the Prime Minister during one of his leaves that came or went to Tafawa, where he had sugarcane plantation farm. So he went with 2 of his male children, Sadiq and Mukhtar, went to the farm, plucked some sugarcane, sat down on the ground, not even under a tree or on top of any mat. They were enjoying their sugarcane. Very simple life. And this is Sama Senikano, Alaji Dr. Yusuf Maitama Sule. He was his family friend. We took photographs with those 2 children. This is Dr. Amin Saleh. You remember him? He was the secretary to the federal government during General Sani Abacha, head of state. All right, but Sir Abubakar taught him in primary school at that Bauchi Provincial Primary School in Yelwa, opposite HBU. He was Abubakar's pupil in 1943. Likewise, Dr. Suleiman Adamu, late Emir of Bauchi, he also was a pupil of Sir Abubakar Tafawa at Yelwa or Bauchi Provincial Primary School. This is late Ajian Bauchi Alhaji Adamu Tafawa Balewa. You can see him also bearing Tafawa Balewa as part of his name. He was the son of a slave also. So he started growing up along with Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa in the same house, under the same guardian. So he also deemed it fit to use the name of the town as part of his name. And so he used to accompany Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa to functions, but just functioning silently as a minor. And after everything got what he would get. This is Alhaji Sani Keita, sorry, Isa Keita of Katsina. He was his classmate at Katsina College. This is Muhammad Uribadu, father of Nuhu Uribadu, former chairman of the FCC, and he was a long-serving minister under Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. And this is Alhaji Aya Buso, who was his schoolmate at Katsina College. This is that Yankari whom we saw at the farm, Tafawa Balewa with the Prime Minister. Now, this is one of his bosom friends, Madakim Bauchi, Malam Abubakar Garaba. They were together in the house in Lagos when a band of soldiers that were sent to take care of the Prime Minister, to take care of Bauchi, okay? And they entered and moved there. Not immediately. They abducted him on the 15th of January 1966 and then whisked him away. But this is Fred followed because he knew what was going to happen. Yeah. Alright? So he followed. He was looking for him or his corpse everywhere. And on the 21st, he found his corpse executed. And well, some stories said he was tied behind a motor vehicle with a long rope and driven and been dragged on the road up to the place he was executed. So this his friend went and found his corpse among other corpses. Alright? Maybe he was executed in the morning or so. But by the time he came, the corpse had already started swelling up. Okay, so but he made arrangement and insisted that his corpse should be brought to his homestead for burial. That's what you saw in that tomb there. So that is it. These are some dignitaries from various walks of life, especially three of the heads of state of 3 African countries, from Malawi, Liberia, and Uganda, that wrote one tribute or the other about the life of Sir Abubakar, the first Prime Minister of Nigeria. The British Prime Minister also wrote. Alhaji Dr. Shetima Ali Munguno from Borno, he wrote. The Chief Justice Adetokunbo Demola, Chief Justice of Nigeria, one time he wrote. Then the United Secretary General also wrote. So Abubakar died and left that his mother alive. So this is what she had to say. That this is the will of God and I leave everything in the hand of God. So this is his eldest son, the Prime Minister's eldest son, called Yakubu Baba. He is still alive and living in this town. And he used to come, like today, if he's around, he would come probably around 4 o'clock. He would come to the tomb, according to Islamic injunction, and stand by the father's grave and offer prayer. Every Friday he used to do that, except if he's not around, right? So this is what he wrote after the death of his father, Sir Abubakar. My last encounter with my late father, it was December 27, 1965, that I called on my late father to bid him farewell. Sir Abubakar did murmur something about youth and death, which was inaudible. He then asked me to go upstairs and bring his reading glass. And when I was about to leave, he called my attention and unexpectedly informed me unexpectedly informed me that I should not expect to inherit anything more than what was due to me according to sharing of inheritance. The statement shocked me, but I immediately told him that that was not my concern. He replied that he knew that, but was informing me just in case that problem comes up after his death. Nobody should blame anyone or group that they are the ones that swindled my wealth. I should take courage and inform people of what he told me. Now, especially this last sentence, nobody should blame anyone or group that they are the ones that swindled my wealth. By implication of that statement to his first son, he should explain to members of the family and close relatives that his father died leaving no asset apart from that house he built, the family house. He's on the road, this road, just not very far from here. You will see it by the left. So let no one start thinking on assumption that how can the Prime Minister die without having cash hidden somewhere, either in a foreign bank account or one of the African countries, or even in Nigeria, all right, or even having some fleet of cars hidden somewhere, or buildings, assets, landed property, name them. And based on that thought, start to pester him, the firstborn, thinking he must have had all those things, and the first son no, and he's hiding it from all other members of the family. And so they will now start fighting each other or blaming him and dragging about something that is not even there. That's the implication of that statement. So,
Hello everyone, welcome to Kara's Day Out, and today we are at Yankari Game Resort. Like you can see, we just got to the first gate and I thought to just do a video. And if you're a first time subscriber, please, you know what to do already. Like, comment, turn on your notification button, and do not forget to comment. I would love to see your comments below. So yes, your rich vibe queen, aka the wealthy queen, is here, and I'm sure going to be having fun. So just follow me and I'll try my best to show you around as much as possible. So stay tuned and enjoy. Please subscribe already. Subscribe. Thank you. Bye. What did you get that you're eating? Hello everyone, so we are heading for safari, and trust me, it's going to be fun. If you're not here, you're missing, so try and come to Yankari, but make sure you bring me as your handbag, you know to tracking. This is right. Oh, sweetheart, but quite sweetheart. Don't be jealous.
Welcome to Yankari Game Resort here in Bauchi. First, my name is Aruna Mohammed, and the film creator and part in Abuja also. My colleague, Umar Abdul, our chief driver here in the resort. And the history of Yankari was created in 1956. Later, Yankari was democrated in 1962. Then from there now, I wanted to tell you the person who opened Yankari to the public is our former premier for the Northern region. We call Ahmadu Bello, Sultana of Sokoto. He is the person who sent his minister for agriculture for the Northern region. We call Alhaji Muhammadu Ungileru Wali of Sokoto. He is the person who opened Yankari to the public, and then he is the first visit Yankari as visitor. He comes and one night visit here. And after that, now I wanted to tell you people the total land of the game reserve. The total land of the game reserve is almost 2,244.10 square kilometers. Then Yankari has 111 roads linked with the park. Then Yankari has 52 species of wild animals and the rest. Then Yankari has 3 types of animals here. Number 1, we have carnivorous family. One can eat flesh. And another group, we have carnivorous family. One can eat grass and leaf. And the other number 3 group, we have omnivorous family. One can eat flesh and grass. Then we have about 17 reptile family. Then we have about 7 amphibious family. Then Yankari has 350 male species, 230 among 350. They are immigrants from another country here. Then 120, they are familiar to the reserve since from the beginning. Then Yankari has an ecological area here in the reserve, different location sites. We have ions, melting faunas for the Asian people known before. We have martial death, man-made death during slave trade. Then we have Turkey well. There is 132 well. It was called Philipsis abasis. Philipsis abasis, if you realize, you can see they are the same family. And then no matter you have Jolo, this plant pass you. If a single one come out, they not go allow another plant to exist in the area. Unless them again. And then if you see people, they ask you where you get this background to take this picture. And then how do you feel the area?
The air is also very nice.
The place is so cool, and then the cool way is here is more than AC cool, because AC cool is a gas cool, but this one is natural.
Natural.
Yo, Wells Queen, what's happening?
Hello everyone, so we're heading to the Masha Cave.
Oh, there's a lion. There's a lion behind you.
Afanaga.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned.
Careful, there's a
I'm
tree.
going to show you.
There's a tree. There's a tree. There's a tree.
Bye-bye. 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 Hello everyone, so I'm at a cave. This is one of the caves.
The cave was made by the Asian people. The reason why they made the cave because they are trying to escape for slave traders. That is the reason why they leave their villages to come and find this location area to dig the sandstone to come and hide here. And then the time where they see they are safe here, automatically they don't escape for slave traders. And then if you see, or if you realize, about 3-story building is here, see upstairs, see normal housing, see underground housing. And then this thing showing us the reality since from the beginning here in Africa. There is actually
Sadly, I saw only one animal.
I saw 4 animals: a lion, hippopotamus, everything. Wild animals like this, yes.
Oh,
Wild animals. Joke for yeah.
so this area is our solid grade. Some of the animals they are coming here to drink the solid. The solid is salty, like the potash. And then they are coming here to drink.
No.
What is that?
Like telling me. Yeah?
What's that?
I can't. But Prince, now you in the test who did it. I say go phone inside.
hello everyone, welcome to Kara's Day Out, and now I'm at the Wiki Warm Spring, and so this is 1,000 steps to get to the Wiki Spring itself. Like, it's not even funny, trust me guys. This staircase is not one to reckon with, trust me. And I have to also so how amazing can nature be?
Cause go vibe man, silence. Muna vibe no. Kaya maka vibe, earpiece na kanya. Kuku spot.